Welcome to B2B Tech Talk, Ingram Micro's destination for information on technology, business, and the people that make them run. This episode is sponsored by Xvantage, Ingram Micro's game changing platform designed to help your business run better and grow faster. Today on B2B Tech Talk, I'm speaking with Brent Whitfield, founding member and director of equity partnerships at New Charter Technologies. I'm going to ask Brent the questions we all want to know as we consider our next step. So let's learn from Brent about what he has done in his life after exit. Brent, welcome back to B2B Tech Talk.
Glad to be here.
So, you were first on our show back in May, and we talked about mergers and acquisitions, and you gave our audience lots of great advice. And I really appreciate that because we had a lot of people watching. Now, I want to go a little deeper and find out from you because I think a lot of folks that are looking at acquisition wonder what life after acquisition is life like, and you've been through that.
Yes, I think that once you're acquired or once you go through the process, which is a big part of it, and then you're acquired, you kind of think you have this like vision of what things are going to be like, and like a lot of things in life, it doesn't actually turn out that way. In my case, it actually turned out better. I feel uh, great about going to work every day. I'm not the owner and founder anymore, but I'm building something that's really fun. And I think that uh, we need to change as leaders in order to make that happen. But it's been kind of the neatest transition and a really fun career change for me.
So it was somewhat unexpected, right? You didn't expect for your life to be this way.
No, no. So I think that when you think about getting acquired, you're pretty sure you're not going to want to be around longer than you need to, and you got visions of fishing and time with the family and all these ideas. And uh, what another guy in the M&A business, he's probably done 80 or 90 acquisitions in our space, and we collaborate a lot. And he told me, he says, 90% of the deals, the founders think they're going to leave and they don't. And I'm like, okay. And then when I got into it and saw kind of what we could do together and what we're building, I'm kind of in it for the long haul.
I think what I'm hearing is that when you uh, left your previous role as day to day actively working on running the business,
Right.
now you have space to create, space to innovate.
Right. I think what we can do as a national company is so different than we could do when we were a leader in our market. My original MSP is located in Los Angeles. It's a $10 million MSP, and we have about 31 employees, and we thought we were, doing great, and we were. We were attractive to be acquired, but when you're part of a national platform, kind of like Ingram, there's just economies of scale that we can bring. Centralized marketing, centralized sales help, executive edge leadership training for our number ones and our number twos, centralized recruiting and HR. All of those things help us grow and be more effective and better than we were when we were alone. So we really are better together, and it's fun to build that part.
So you consolidated some of the business processes, the basic shared business processes, which I would imagine makes your organization more attractive to work for versus individually.
Yeah, one of the big in Los Angeles, one of the biggest constraints to growth is finding people. It really is people come and they go, and you do the best you can to hire. But at New Charter, we're going to place 200 employees at New Charter companies in 2023, and we placed 160 last year. That's that's kind of a service that we're doing at the corporate level that we couldn't possibly come close to if we were all operating as individual companies doing that work.
Knowing all the thoughts that went through your mind as you were preparing to transition, what advice would you give others? What things that you thought of that you thought, God, why did I think that way?
Yeah, there's a big one that I notice now that I'm on the other side of the table talking to MSPs. And the number one kind of thing that I would have done differently, and that I encourage MSPs that I talk to do differently, is don't take forever to get involved in a situation with a PE company you can uh, where you can go big faster. And the reason for that, what I noticed, what I struggled with, and what a lot of MSPs try to do, is they think that, well, I'm at 1 million in EBITDA, which is kind of what we pay on. It's
Mhm.
what we look at. We need it. We need about 1 million in EBITDA to be interested. But a lot of them want us. They say, I want to talk to you next year when I'm at 1.2 million or 1.5 million. And the problem with that thinking is it's an accomplishment to get to those
Sure.
thresholds. It's great, but when you roll into a $265 million company with 50 million in EBITDA, it's hard to outrun that. You know, the equity that's built on a $50 million EBITDA company is so much more than a 1 million EBITDA company. So it makes sense to roll in sooner than later because we're growing faster than they
Sure.
can. And I think that people waste time and kind of spin wheels um, by waiting to get that number too high.
All right. So you've sold your company and you're going back into the office. What advice do you give that leader who's going back in a with a different hat on?
Yeah, yeah. I like to, it's probably not completely fair, but I think when we're running our own operating companies, we're kind of like this genius with helpers. And, you know, we have the vision. We were the first, usually many of us were the first engineer,
Sure.
and then we hired more and we grew. And so we're kind of this, you know, bottleneck center of attention. And it's kind of like how we get to where we then get bigger. And I think that once you become part of a national platform and you've got other other leaders that you're reporting to, I think we become more of a persuader in chief uh, instead of the CEO. And so we need to get better as the leadership style changes because it's more collaborative, and we need to just get better at persuading than telling people what to do because they don't really want to hear about that.
Of course, and I love that because
Mhm.
moving from a leadership role, or excuse me, a management role where it's very tactical, hands-on,
Yep.
to leadership, I
Yep.
think makes you more effective in the long run. Because to your point,
Mhm.
I think you're right. People don't want to be told what to do.
Right. I think that's kind of the way it affects the founder.
Sure.
But there's the other aspect is that you've got an operating company um, with your employees in it that are going to become the next leaders. And at DCG in Los Angeles, my number one and number two are running the the show,
Yeah.
and the diff the difference in my leadership style now is it's more of a nurturing and educational. I'm more of a nurturing and educational leader than I was when I was running it.
You're a
And
coach.
yeah, I'm a coach, and they like me better this way,
Yes.
and I like me better this way.
Well, I like you better that way. How about that? We're here at Ingram Micro One in Nashville. What has been your experience so far? And we're going to talk a little bit about Xvantage as well.
Well, honestly, that seems like the big news.
Yeah.
Um, One of the things about New Charter is we've got 25 operating companies operating out of 28 cities, and we all sell hardware. We're all Ingram partners, and one of the common theme I'm hearing from our purchasers and our sales groups is that Ingram's got it right on this thing. And the example of that, I think the best example is the time that we can save by using the tool,
Mhm.
and using, taking advantage of the ability to ask for something to be quoted, getting it immediately, modifying that quote two or three times, and getting those changes immediately. Where with most of the other distributors, all of them really, it's like phone calls and ring groups, and hopefully one will pick up my change and get the quote back
Sure.
so that I can then, and then when we go to order, it's kind of just a click instead of, hey, the old way. So there's a lot of there's the guys are appreciating that a lot. Guys and gals are appreciating that a lot. And the other aspect that's big for MSPs is the renewals. So like on a Meraki renewal, in the old days, we kind of managed it pretty well. But if something wasn't keyed in right in our systems, eh, a router would expire and the client would be down until we scurried around and got that licensing renewed. And I'm not going to say it happened a lot, but it happened enough to where
Sure.
we really rely on the Advantage tool now to help us with those alerts, and we don't miss a renewal anymore.
Isn't
And
that fantastic? So now your people across 25, 4,
we're
5,
25 companies,
25.
28 cities.
Okay, 25 across 25 companies.
Yeah,
You multiply that by how much time is being saved and how much time is now being reallocated
right,
to customer success,
right,
right?
right.
That's so
Yeah.
powerful. That's got to be a lot of
Yeah,
time.
well, there's the single pane of glass aspect now by combining all the cloud
Yep.
products and into that it takes away another time sink where of kind of flipping between two tools. So the feedback that we're getting is that you guys got it right. And it's working really well.
Well, thank you for that. And any parting words you have for our partners viewing today on your strategy, anything you want, any announcements you want to make here?
We're actually we've acquired two more companies, and on the 28th?
Today is the 27th.
7th. Okay, I think there'll be an announcement very, very soon. Got
Okay.
two more companies coming on. Both of them are in states that we're not in yet, so we're really excited about it. Our goal is to be in all 50 states and Canada, and I expect we'll get there within the next couple years. We've done what we've done in about 3.5 years, and so we expect to get there. And acquisition by acquisition,
Any
we
plans
expect to
on
get there.
going global?
Yeah, well, we're in Canada, so
Okay.
we're getting there.
Okay.
I expect that Europe and England will be in the next kind of tranche, which would be in 2 to 3 years. But we
Okay.
got a lot to do here in the States and in North America.
Well, anytime you want to make an announcement, you feel free to join us back here on B2B Tech Talk
I
so we can
appreciate it.
share the news with the rest of the world. Brent, it's always a delight and a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Nina.
And
Appreciate you.
yes, absolutely. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at Ingram Micro One.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to continue the conversation online, use hashtag B2B Tech Talk.